Riddleform, I wish I knew how to quit you. Alright, what is up my friends? Welcome to another Monday video here on CoolStuffInc.com. We got a winner for you this week, and I mean that in the truest sense. This is Anthony Arvalo's deck from the Red Bull Untapped International Qualifier number 5. And Anthony took down the whole tournament. These Red Bull tournaments are large. We're talking probably over 1,000 players. And Anthony cut through the field at 7-1 in the Swiss, won the top 8, won the whole tournament with a deck that really is pretty off the radar. Now, if you follow my content regularly, you know I just love decks like this. When it comes to these prowessy decks, Riddleform is a card I've been playing since its first printing in various decks. Love this card. Love Sprite Dragon. Love Crash Through. I don't think anyone in the world likes Crash Through more than me and Ryan Overturf. Love prowess decks. Blister Burn in Modern. Just love it all if it comes to prowess stuff. And it's basically what we're doing here. Just super, super high density of 1-mana spells. Higher than perhaps any deck I've seen in Standard in a long time. Save maybe for White Weenie. We've got Shock and Crash Through. Opt. And then the little more surprising, 4 copies of Unsummon, which of course can save our own creatures as well as bounce theirs. Spectral Sailor is the card that is the weirdest to me here, but it is a beater if it can draw cards later on. And then Samut Sprint, pretty cool little trick here, can pump things up, get some extra damage in, and of course haste can be very nice too. Now, all the 1-mana spells go with Dreadhorde Arcanist, a card that sees a lot of play in Legacy. This is a card that gets better in older formats where there's a higher density of cards that cost 1. But as you can see, we're playing tons of cards that cost 1. Powerful card. Sprite Dragon, probably the best prowess creature ever printed. Riddleform, of course. And Stormwing Entity, new entry from M21. Card that I picked as the best blue card in the set. And it hasn't really shown up a ton yet, but very powerful prowess threat. Of course, no Gut Shot, no Metamorphose here in Standard. So it's going to cost at least 3, basically. But still a very powerful card. And 1 copy of the Royal Scions, a card I poo-poo a lot, as it is. It looks like it should be so good, but tapping out for it, not affecting the board, always feels pretty bad. 3-mana deck, Aether Gust. It's a Sultai world, we're still living in it. It's a Euro world, we're still living in it. And that's the main deck. Just 20 lands, bunch of cool spells. That's aggressive strategy. A lot of sideboard cards here. Redcap Melee, Negate, Lava Coil. Miscast, kind of cool. A little Spell Pierce-esque card. Brazen Borrower. Narset is very good against control decks and against Euro decks, Krasis decks, things like that. And then Whirlwind Denial is our counterspell of choice. Definitely very good against Hydroid Krasis, and we can kind of take the role of like a tempo deck as well. So that's the deck, and I'm pretty stoked to play this deck. Again, Anthony Arvalo's, if I'm saying that wrong, Anthony, I'm really sorry. First place deck from the Red Bull Untapped International Qualifier. But first, quick word from our sponsor here at CoolStuffInc.com.
CoolStuffInc.com now has their own branded sleeves. These sleek, matte finished sleeves will keep all standard size cards safe and protected. Get yours today at CoolStuffInc.com. Cool stuff in stock.
All right, round 1. Let's cast some Crash Throughs. Nothing would make me happier. It's like a password. Dog3RM4NN. Hello, opponent. I'll play some Magic. Reminder, of course, there is a companion article to this video and all my videos here on CoolStuffInc.com. Right on over at CoolStuffInc.com proper. So point your browser there. Check out the article. I do a written article on Fridays as well. Always free content on CoolStuffInc.com. Sounds fine. I can keep this. A little light on interaction. Spectral Sailor is definitely an interesting card. It's obviously good later in the game against slow decks when you flood. Our opponent is playing Yorion, so likely to be a slower, grindier deck. And Triome it is. All right, so get our Spectral Sailor going. Got Arcanist and a few 1-mana spells here. Stormwing also. They're going to Omen of a Sea in response to Sailor. So they think we're playing some sort of flash deck. Because you've only played an Island and a Sailor. So it's important to kind of look at what your opponent sees and understand what they're thinking at the time if they don't have full information yet. Because obviously playing Omen of a Sea in their end step seems weird, but it could also mean they are land light and trying to rely on the Omen to draw them a third land and don't want it to get countered. So usually you wouldn't counter an Omen of a Sea. Bottom, okay. Let's go. Of course, Deafening Clarion still in the format, which would be quite good here, but I think we're going to play into it. They are playing 80 cards, so they have Land Clarion here. It's pretty ugly, but we still got to go crash through into Stormwing, if that is the case. Narset, Parter of Veils. That is a card that makes crash through look kind of bad, but luckily we have Samut's Sprint, and we can Samut Sprint to kill the Narset. Actually, we're one short. We could flash it back too. The big question is, are we going to play this the Stormwing Entity or not? I don't think I want to, because if they have a Shadowverse guy, this is a great backup plan. The problem is if we don't, I guess we just can't actually kill Narset, which is pretty frustrating, but we're just going to sprint, and then we're going to attack Narset to 1, and then just say go. Unsummon's also a nice anti-wrath measure, so... I'm sorry, we can flash it back, obviously, I'm being silly. Shock's going to go to the bottom. So yeah, I'm sorry, we're going to flash it back and kill the Narset. I apologize, I forgot that that works like that. So we can go... Dreadhorde here for 5, this here for 1. Shock on top again. Still don't want the shock. Alright. So traded our Samut Sprint for a Narset that didn't do anything. That's pretty good. And again, we could cast Stormwing here, but I'm going to play around Shadowverse guy and not do that. We can play it next turn with Stormwing up and still draw 2 cards. And our board is pretty good right now, honestly, because this Dreadhorde is going to draw 2 cards next turn with the Crash Through, so... And there you go. So we're going to save our Arcanist. It's just a much better card than Sailor is. Not too shabby. Then we get to play Crash Through and just cast Stormwing. Draw an Opt. It's not too bad. Scry 2. Riddleform Sprite Dragon. That is a nice bevy of threats. We like this a lot. Yeah, pretty happy with this. We can't play Anarchist, I guess. Maybe we want to actually do it this way. Yeah, I like this better. So we can go Riddleform and Anarchist next turn. Or Arcanist, I'm sorry. Of course, good news also is that Arcanist plays... I'm sorry, Riddleform plays very well against mass removal, so... We do need to actually kill them because they will eventually play Yorion for a lot of value. We're not going to opt here. We're going to save it. We know our cards, so... We're going to play Riddleform for a Prowess trigger. Attempt to get in for 4. And play an Arcanist. So applying the pressure. Even if they manage to have a Wrath next turn, we still have Sprite Dragon and Riddleform coming in next turn, as well as a Stormwing waiting in the wings. So nice threat-heavy draw here. And we are attacking for a lot next turn if they don't do something serious here. Okay, that's pretty good. Just hard cast a Yorion. Unsummoning Yorion, not really a great thing to be doing, but we could do it. Alright, so it is going to be a little hard to attack through this Yorion, realistically. We have a lot of smaller flyers. I think we're going to unsummon here. It feels pretty bad, but it's a huge swing. And it grows our Sprite Dragon also. And they recast the Yorion. We have to play more spells. Look at the game. These ground creatures don't matter that much. They can block the Arcanist, but Yeah, this is a little crazy, but I think we're going to do it. I'm also going to opt first, too. Another Arcanist. I'm going to bottom this. Temple. Okay. So we're going to attack for a bunch and then unsummon Yorion. We're going to lose our Arcanist, but we're going to deal a large amount of damage. This is fairly aggressive. I'm not totally sure if it's correct or not, but... And play Temple. Another. We are Stormwing flooded here. We're going to ship this. We want to draw non-creature spells. So you can cast the Yorion, draw a card, gain 2 life, make 2 tokens, all pretty good. Our goal is to get these things to be 5/5s. Hopefully we can draw a spell next turn. We could always upkeep Scry too and look for a spell. It does cut down on our options significantly though. Okay. Do we scry or not scry? Hitting a spell this turn. We want to hit 2 spells realistically. I think we're just going to draw. We need a big hit here though. Oh boy. That is good. Yeah, that's actually good. We can do that. Play this. Trigger everything. I think they're just dead now. No, we're 1 short, actually. We target Riddleform. I guess they have to block the Riddleform. Yeah. So if I target Riddleform, they have to block Riddleform. They can't block one of the other creatures. So we trade the Riddleform for the Yorion, which is pretty good. They go to 1. Yeah, all right. We can do this. Oh, I get first strike too. Oh, actually, that's even better. I didn't... Shows how often I've played with this card. This is insane. So they have to block it and it's first strike. That's phenomenal. So now I don't even know what can save them because a Wrath is almost irrelevant because we have the Riddleform. They can't kill the Royal Scions. $17-1. Royal Scions still alive. There's Shatter. Should we draw a card off Shatter? That's great. And now we kill them. Unless they have a 2-mana removal spell, of which there aren't many in the format. Opt. Sure. All right, sweet. Cool first game there. Cool first game. So a blue-white control deck. We're going to want Negates and Narsets. And Miscast is kind of weird. They have a lot of enchantments and creatures and things. It does counter the Wrath. Doesn't counter Elspeth Conqueror's Death. I don't think it's hard counters enough. And we're going to cut the shocks. And I'll be an Unsummon. Unsummoning our own stuff is still pretty good. Kind of wish we had Mystical Dispute in our sideboard, you know? So we have Negate. We could bring in like a Denial or 2. It's not a very good counter spell, but it does counter Yorion pretty well. I'm going to bring in 1 Denial and cut a second Unsummon. Let's try this. Samut Sprint's kind of nice here too. I didn't cut the Aether Gusts. I screwed up. I completely blanked on the Aether Gusts. That's awkward. All right. Well, I just realized that. you trained to think of the cards like Shock as the first thing to come out in control mirrors, but obviously Aether Gust is totally dead against them. So that's my bad. Hopefully we don't draw too many of those. Trying to give him a fair shot, you know? Yeah, stands great. Scrying bottom. Let's go. Opt. Okay. Let's say go. We could like play tap land here and not play the opt, but we have another opt. We have plenty of spells to play. Like, what are we going to draw into if it's not more spells, you know? Well, I'm glad we played the opt. Although I'm sure we'll draw an Aether Gust here too. We'll deserve it. No, Mountain. Never punished. Never punished. Steam Vents. Okay. Prefer to not draw any more mountains. We're going to Riddleform here. Set up for Sprite Dragon opt next turn. Given its invulnerability to Shadow of the Sky, I think Riddleform is like one of our better threats. Oh, damn it. Why you like this? All right. We want to cast... We're not casting Samut Sprint. Oh, Manus, we want to cast Opt, so we'll pay 2. Play Sprite Dragon. Not get Mystical Disputed, hopefully. And play Opt. Bottom. Sweet. The cool thing about Riddleform is that the biggest issue these Prowess decks have is that you're trying to balance your Prowess threats with your Prowess enablers. So for every Sprite Dragon in your deck, you have one less card to Prowess your Sprite Dragon with. That's always the problem they have. Play too many creatures, and your cards don't do anything. Play too many spells, and you're too threat light. But Riddleform gets to do both. Riddleform is both a threat, a Prowess threat, and a non-creature spell in and of itself, which is awesome. All right, 4 mana. Like this Plains. Another Birth. Birth's not very good against us. We have very few ground creatures, so. Okay. Let's just play Riddleform number 2. We can always Aether Gust our Sprite Dragon back to top of our deck, I suppose. It's not a completely worthless card. No way to turn on this Riddleform and Samut Sprint it. So still going to play this. Again, I don't think we're going to be sprinting here. Yeah, we're going to wait. Sure. Feeling pretty good here, honestly. I mean, our threats are very very durable in Riddleform. I mean, they play a Yorion next turn. That could be not too great for us. You're currently lacking an answer to Yorion. We could just punch through it, I suppose. Man, they're going to make fun of me so much in the YouTube comments. All right, yeah. Could Aether Gust our own Samut Sprint. Fortunately, Unsummon would be pretty fine here. I think that would actually just be dead. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, they're just dead. Oopsie. Oh, someone queue up the no justice. Okay. So, Unsummon. That's 10, 11, 12. I think we're actually one short. It's 5, 10. Yep, we have 13. 13 lovely points of damage, which is not quite enough. So I think we're going to, we'll just unsummon and attack. I guess you want a Samut Sprint too. And we'll know we can end step Scry and look for a spell to finish him off with. Okay. There's no way to use Aether Gust here in any profitable way. No. Again, it does feel kind of bad to bounce the Yorion, but we're just killing them. That's kind of the the idea. Stormwing Entity on top. That is not a spell that kills them, so we're going to bottom that. Or we'll scoop. Oh, wait. Yeah, it was only 13. They weren't dead yet, but we'll take it. So, a little sloppy first match there. Was the first match of the deck. Just kind of forgot about Aether Gust. You know, still not entirely used to playing sideboard cards in my main deck, you know? Hopefully it's a thing we never get used to. All right, round 2. On the draw. That's okay. Casting some crash throughs. Let's do this. Opponent is mulliganed. It's kind of an ugly hand, but we're gonna keep. I mean, we're playing like 20 lands. We have a threat. Opponent mulligan, which is kind of a thing too. We're gonna keep. Obviously, if we draw 2 lands in a row here, we're going to be really sad, but... Ooh. A little mirror? Shock, sure. Mirror seems tough. It seems pretty hard to kill anything in the mirror. Main phase opt. Okay. Bottom, sure. Okay, mulligan to mana screwed. Storming's pretty great. All right, our hand is shaping up quite nicely. This card's a house. All right, I mean, not the funnest game of all time, but what are you going to do, All right, so for the mirror, I mean, we definitely want these lava coils and these melees. And... our shocks seem pretty bad. Spectral Sailor also seems pretty bad. Aether Gust is like fine. I'm gonna shave one. Brazen Borrower is it's okay. The shocks aren't very good either. Shock doesn't kill very much. Can kill a Sprite Dragon by itself, but I guess it can team up with Dreadhorde to kill something, but kind of like the idea of Brazen Borrower. Four Unsummon's pretty nice. Got the Royal Scions. This card seems really bad if your opponent ever gets to attack you. I guess Narset seems really good. I don't know if we have enough removal spells to protect it. We're on the draw. Try and take like a defensive stance and use Narset as a way to draw cards and turn off their cantrips. There aren't really many cantrips though. I mean, it turns off Crash Through and not Opt. Just cast Opt on your opponent's turn. Yeah, I'm not willing to play Narset on the draw. I'm just gonna cut. I think a Shock. Shock don't kill much. Solid. Opponent mulligans again. We'll opt on turn 1. Could save opt for the Stormwing, but we have sprint too, so definitely the density of 1-mana spells in this deck is very nice. 1-mana spells really make the deck work. Opponent mulligans to 5. Jeez. Main phase opt. You got it. And bottom. Opponent's having a bad day, All right. Well, sometimes, sometimes magic is magic, I guess. Opponent plays 1 spell the entire match. 1-1 or 2-0. 2-0. A little short shark action. Hopefully our next match is a little more interesting. Just a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit more interesting. Maybe they're playing Manaless Dredge. Yeah, keep. Nice red heavy hand here. Definitely the card that stands out to me as the most bizarre choice, but it does seem pretty good against like slower, grindier decks. And there's your Sultai. Sultai is definitely top dog in this format. Agonizing Remorse, sure. We'd be happy if they took Sailor, so I'm not going to cast the response. Probably take a Riddleform, I would think. This is the true test here, for sure. Sultai is definitely the best deck in the format right now. We played it in our video a few weeks ago. Every tournament's like, 25% Sultai. It's the current de facto best deck. Shock. Oh, we are not shocking anything, so get it for 1. We can cast our Stormwing next turn. And again, if the game goes long, they got to deal with this, right? Ha, yes. Euro Titan of Nature's Wrath. It's funny, I'm playing so much Historic, I'm like praying and then I'll play a Field of the Dead. Alright, Crash Through. Don't mind if I do. I was in a shock this turn, so this feels a lot better. Alright. Let's play Stormwing. Get a little Scry going here. Unsummon Steam Ends. Definitely want the land. Unsummon is not particularly exciting. They're way off of Euro. It's not a threat. It can protect our own threats. If they untap and kill my Stormwing, then what's it to protect? I'm just going to ship the Unsummon too. Can't play Nissa safely here. It would just die. Just gonna say go, it looks like. Okay. We could leave up Spectral Sailor. Just to draw a card of Sailor. I guess we're not gonna shock them probably. So we could crash through and try and draw more threats and pump stuff. I imagine they have a kill spell here with 4 cards in hand and 5 mana up. I kinda like just playing a land and attacking. Just not even not playing anything. So if they do kill Stormwing, then the crash through really kind of sucks. Also, you draw exactly another threat, which we're not likely to. Our deck's like a third or less threats. Shark Typhoon for 3. Interesting. Now I wish I kept it Unsummon, honestly. We could just double shock this, I guess. Doesn't feel good, but saving our Sailor does seem kind of nice. Shocks aren't very good either. Yeah. All right. We get the Prowess triggers too, so Shock don't get much better of his matchup. So take 6. Not there on Euro yet. Suppose a extinction event would be pretty bad. Most of these Sultai decks are just like really inbred for the mirror, though. They're not even like playing removal; they're just playing all these counter spells and Shark Typhoons and stuff. So that's pretty good. Pretty good. And we need to draw some spells. That's a spell. That's a spell. That's a land. Ugh. Coward or warrior? Warrior. Takes the damage. No fear, Shakespeare. Blocking would have given them Euro, but they drew a passage anyway. So now they got a Euro we got to beat, which is pretty tough. Because for some inexplicable reason, Euro gains life. Still have 5 cards in their hand? Man. So they're at 9. And the problem is Spectral Sailor doesn't really outgrind a Euro. Samut Sprint. Alright, we're gonna draw off our Sailor. It's a shock. Alright. I mean, we're gonna attack, they're gonna block, and I guess we're gonna Samut Sprint and save it. We're really kind of grasping at straws at this point. Aether Gust to their own Krasis. Oh my god, yeah. Our own Aether Gust. It deals with Euro, I guess. I mean, I don't really see a path to victory here. We're just not beating their Krasis for 10 next turn. Don't shock? Coward. Oh my god. They're going to extinction event their own creature? Wow. That's disgusting. It makes our Aether Gust terrible. It's a pretty interesting play. Like, you could just cast Krasis for 100 million. It's almost like they know we have Aether Gust on top. Ah, there's another Euro. Sure. Oh, look, they're back at 20 life. Man. They've banned most of the obnoxious cards printed in the last 2 years, but not Euro. Not Euro. We just had no way to win this game. All right. Kind of a stinky game there. That's just how absurd Euro is. We get to bring in some cards, though. We get to bring in our Narsets and our Whirlwind Denials. And get the cut. Our shocks are pretty bad. Unsummon's not great either. Brazen Borrower. I guess Unsummon's good against Shark Typhoon, so is Brazen Borrower. It's got both shocks to bring in the Brazen Borrower. Negate. I don't think I want Negate. Like, we have Denial and Gust. Negate's only like really good against like Extinction Event. I guess Miscast. What does Miscast hit? It's like Extinction Event, Cultivate, and a couple spells. Just like not, just kind of narrow. Yes. Ouchie wowie. We can't keep this end. Ooh. Oh. Come on. Wow. Alright, well, now we have to keep, so Scions is gone and Unsummon is gone. And say a little prayer here. Prayers are answered, so you're telling me there's a chance. Now, you just gotta not have a kill spell. That's bad. Okay, well, chip in a chair here. Sprite Dragon and basically nothing. Oh my god. Alright. Well, I guess our opponent didn't play Magic last match, and we're not really playing Magic this match. And even if we are, we're not really playing the same class of Magic our opponent is. Okay. Oh boy. Oh yeah. Little victories. Little victories. Of course, Denial counters both the Krasis itself and the card draw trigger. Maybe if their hand is all lands, we got a chance here. Let's draw like five ops in a row. Oh, they have Euro, never mind. $21 life points. That's not bad. Riddleform's not bad. Please stop. Alright, you're up. Another one land or one... Oh, never mind. Okay, I've seen enough. They cast a Euro next turn, we lose. Okay, that was not a very fun game there. Mulligan to 5 and draw like 9 lands, but that's okay. That's okay. It's fine. 2-1. 2-1. We get Karma back from the last match for our opponent not playing any spells. You know? Yeah, the Sultai deck is really good. Euro and Hydro Krasis are just such unbelievably good threats. Alright, going first on the play. Hand's good. Hand's good. We're going to hold our opt for Stormwing on turn 3. Or turn 4 if we don't draw land. You know, Riddleform into Riddleform and to try and opt for a land for Stormwing. Steam Vents. Ooh. A little mirror match action. Nothing. Alright, so I guess they probably have shock. Yeah, this is a little, oh my god. A little mirror match action. Alright, well, we have all 4 Riddleforms, which does make me pretty happy. If they're playing our exact list, they could have Unsummon. But otherwise, no way to really deal with these. So, just gonna fire off the old, that's pretty good. Shock Stormwing, sure, pretty good. Probably need to draw some lands here, honestly. Can Gust the Arcanist. We're like kind of behind right now. Man. Oh boy. All right. I mean, I guess ideal scenario, we opt into a land. If we play another Riddleform here, I think we might just lose. We should fall too far behind. Yeah. We can opt and then gust away the Dreadhorde. I guess like a land, but... Alright. We can just play another Riddleform, I guess. Or play our own Stormwing. They're taking it. I think we're playing Stormwing. Alright, Dreadhorde's way too slow. Sprite Dragon doesn't really play either, so we have 3 3s in our hand, or 3 2s in our hand. We want to draw 1s or a land. They have an Unsummon or any like real follow-up here, we're in trouble, but... It is a lot of Riddleforms. Truth be told. 3 mountains, so no unsummons here. Oh, they have a shock. That's bad. So we're 1 point short of killing them. Wow. Incredibly conservative. Leaving back the 5/5 Stormwing Entity. So I would say that Samut Sprint or a shock is likely. Because they didn't offer the trade last turn. Ooh, that was really good. That was actually insane. Yeah, let's just kill them, I guess. They can recast Opt. I think we're just going to play another Riddleform and not Gust this. They definitely have like a shock or a Samut Sprint in their hand. Yeah, we're just gonna play a form here. Gusting the Dreadhorde doesn't feel necessary. It can't do anything to these Riddleforms by itself. So we should have 3 lethal flying attackers next turn. Got quads. Feels like a matchup where you want to be aggressive. Like, they have their card advantage card, and they've drawn more cards than us, but we just killed them. So it kind of didn't matter. The answers don't line up very well with... what if I don't have a spell? The answers don't line up very well. So in that scenario, you want to be as aggressive as possible and just try and kill them. So, all right, we're going to bring in melee, coil. Probably Borrower. Sailor seems bad. Scion seems bad. Those are slower, grindier cards. More about going fast. Aether Gust is awkward. We're going to cut 1. And Shock ain't good, but it is at least just a cheap spell. You can also bring in Miscast, honestly. I feel like it's a little sketch. But, you know, we'd be trying to like spike out an Unsummon or something like that on some critical turn. It just seems too reactive. I should have the draw. I'm just going to go to 1 Gust. I think Shock being cheap is just better. Shock can double up with the Arcanist also to kill a larger thing, as we saw in that game. Sure. It's leaning pretty heavily on Arcanist, but... My Kingdom for Aspire Bluff Canal. Opponent agrees. Opponent agrees. Well, you should draw first, then scry. It's a random card, then scry for information, rather than scry and then maybe draw the card you scried. Alright. Arcanist. Will it live or die? Narset, Parter of Veils. Interesting. So we chose not to bring in our Narset. We can just kill it with the shock, so I'm just gonna do that. Redcap Melee. I mean, it can kill Stormwing. Obviously, it kills Sprite Dragon and the other card. We do have Unsummon. I want a threat. I'm gonna ship this. I guess we could have also like just played Arcanist this turn. Had 2 Arcanists in play. That might have been better. Maybe killing Narset isn't that important. I'm kind of like wasting a mana here. I guess we can like unsummon something, but
you are a mighty warrior. I concede.
okay. So then it ended up working out really well because now we can just shock Sprite Dragon. So. Opt. Okay. Start there. Double Opt's pretty good. Stormwing, it's also pretty good. So we're going to attack. Cast Opt again. Try and find a land. No, we're gonna bottom that. I guess the land doesn't actually matter because we just cast Storming anyway. In that case, this crash through good. It's never bad. Yeah, sure. Can't say no to crash through. And Stormwing. I'd like to find a land here, I think. Not a tap land, though. Samut Sprint's pretty sweet, though. We can Samut Sprint our Dreadhorde Arcanist and keep that. And then maybe draw... I guess we don't have many things to get back. But we can start firing off these shocks and crash throughs and stuff. Riddleform number 2. Okay. Obviously better on offense than defense. I think right now we're the aggressor, so... They have a Unsummon. Things get a little awkward, but... Okay, that's really good. Let's do a shock and a sprint. Cast and shock don't do much here, realistically. I think we just crash through and probably unsummon the Arcanist. Crash through, cast crash through again. Yeah, we have to cast Unsummon, I think. So let's just start here. Another Arcanist. All right. And we could just attack and see if we draw a land off crash through or not. So we can go Arcanist and then Unsummon. If we Unsummon now, we guarantee an extra point of damage. Maybe we have shock too, though. Yeah, just attack. Just gotta cast crash through. No, I hit the wrong. That's always the OK button. God, unreal. Why would I want to decline? That's so frustrating. All right, sure. Why would I decline ever? All right. They're 19. That really sucks. Ugh. Damn you, interface. Okay. What do they have in their bin? They've only got a crash through. I'm just gonna let the damage go and cast another Arcanist. Worst case here is they have an Unsummon and they can cast it twice. Ooh, shocking. That's interesting. 2 cards in hand, 5 lands in play. Narset Parter Avails. All right. I imagine they're minusing here. Aether Gust. Okay. Not putting that one on top. I mean, we probably just kill them next turn, honestly. This is a pretty aggressive play. I mean, we have Sprint on Arcanist. Recast the Sprint. Maybe cast Shock, too, if we draw land. I mean, now Crash Through is dead, but still a spell. That is not a land. It is a Redcap Melee. So play Arcanist, Sprint, and then Shock and Sprint. They've got to be dead. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, they're super dead. Pretty interesting choices by them. Some pretty big risks there. This time we'll actually cast the spells. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, those Narcisssts did not seem very good. That was kind of what I was thinking, where like they're good against cantrips, but like they kind of just die. Even they were even on the play that game. They didn't seem very good, so we'll take that. It's a 3-1 now. All right, on the draw. Sounds good. Sounds good. We got Arcanist into Crash Through Stormwing. This is great. We like this. Temple. Opt. It's pretty hard to turn down an Optimus deck, realistically. Let's go with basically everything in our hand. Charming Prince. Charming to the last. Top, bottom. Alright, so we're going to go Dreadhorde here. And the good news is they can't play Teferi and bounce it. Teferi on the draw with a 2-drop is just the worst feeling ever. Also main phase Aether Gust. Okay. Charming Prince, land, main deck Aether Gust. What are they doing over there? I'm just going to ship this. We have plenty of threats. Sprite Dragon. Yeah, we're still going to Stormwing. Don't want that Aether Gust, that's for sure. Now the Dreadhorde feels too slow, so we'll ship both. Alright, there's some sort of like flicker deck. Which makes Unsummon probably pretty good. So I would say that we are interested in... Could leave up Unsummon. Okay, I should crash through, leave up Unsummon, and then next turn we get Sprite Dragon. I think it's alright. I think we're just going to play a Stormwing next turn. Bottom, sure. Shock. Also not bad. That seems better than just playing the crash through. So yeah, we'll just shock the Charming Prince. Pay 2 life, play Stormwing. Ship both. We're looking for instant gratification, and Arcanist does not provide that. So, looking pretty good here. We are attacking for an unbelievable amount of damage next turn. Or not. Alright, so we'll bounce our creature. Sure, that works too. I think it's time wiping on Shadowverse guy would draw a card. A Riddleform. So, options are... Crash through Stormwing if we draw land Riddleform, or Sprite Dragon Riddleform. I think I like Sprite Dragon Riddleform better. If I go crash through and don't draw land, we're just playing a Stormwing. We have 2 stings in our hand, and the Riddleform is a lot worse. So this allows for some instant gratification, as well as a diversifying our threats here a little bit against another Wrath, and then lethal. Not lethal next turn, but close. Opt. Also pretty good. Crash through is so good. Dude, love me some crash through. Keep the crash throughs coming, you know? This card should be in every single core set. Evergreen. Aether Gust. That's not good, but sure. We just slam here. Oh, they can tap stuff. Sure. Forgot that existed. Alright. I'd like to find a threat here. They're at 7. Sure. This is fun. Now they have a Wrath. We can play Riddleform, attack for 3, have a shock teed up. Cavalier of Dawn. Comes into play, destroy an permanent, at a 3/3. So they're turning my 2 flyers into 3/3s. Okay. They're still dead. Can't beat crash through. Never beat a crash through. Upstairs. Cavalier of Dawn. Opponent's playing quite a little brew here. Up, their Thassa turned on. Okay, so some sort of blue-white, like, flicker deck. Aether Gust has got to go. Let's get that one right this time. Bring in the coils. I don't know what else we want. I mean, they probably have some, like, card draw stuff. So, like, Narset is somewhat interesting. They're also not pressuring super hard, probably, but... I mean, Negate stops Wraths, but... I don't know. They played a lot of creatures, too. So, like... Could bring in Denial just like as a catch-all counterspell, which can counter creatures or Wraths. Unsummon seems fine. Shock seems fine. Narset seems fine. Borrower seems also fine. Definitely like the idea of having a counterspell or two. Borrower kind of plays too. Can't bounce my own stuff though. I'll bring in Borrower. We could bring in Denial. Maybe if we're on the play for game 3, we'll bring in Denial. Obviously, the 3-mana counterspell is much better on the play. It's pretty clunky, but... That's a hint. It's a little awkward. Like, we're probably not going to play Opt on turn 1 because these unsummons are a little reactive. But... Riddleform's sweet. I do love this card. Don't Mystical Dispute me. Thip. They have another dispute? That's gross. Alright, pretty good hand here from them. Mystical Dispute is quite good against us. Does counter almost all of our threats. Just 1-mana counter spells. Charming. Yeah, this game is not going too well for us. Not too well at all. Sailor? I mean, we're a little flooded. I guess it could be worse, right? Just like a guaranteed threat? Sure. Come sail away. Just going to take this. If they have a Thassa, I want to shock what they target. Just gonna untap. Alright, that is a lot of unsummons. Maybe we have a few too many unsummons in our deck. Alright, so we gotta shock this Charming Prince. I'll just do it now, I guess. I don't know what they could have, but... Not a very good hand. Not a very good hand. Sure. Okay. Maybe we just unsummon a human and play Stormwing. Yeah. This feels bad, obviously, but we are dying slowly, so... Shock. Don't want the 4th unsummon, that's for sure. I don't want... I guess the shock can kill the Brazen Borrower. Sure. Can't leave up unsummon anyway, so... Now we have shock or sailor up. Kind of a weird pause. It's interesting. Obviously, we could just block and then play any spell, and our thing lives. Feels weird, but like realistically, getting this off the board matters. They have flicker effects and stuff, so sure. That makes it feel worse. I mean, I guess we're just casting it, right? Like, no tricks here. We can't unsummon their Brazen Borrowers. It seems pretty bad. Need some threats here. Need some threats. Arcanist seems good. I can mess with Arcanist. Pretty stock graveyard, so. End step Vantress. Top, bottom. Not sure what they're looking for here. Thassa. Okay. Okay. I mean, this is what I was saying about the Fibblethip dying. You know, at least it's not a thing. Now Thassa is a creature? Okay. I mean, now I can unsummon the Thassa, which is kind of cool. Make them cast that again. Play Arcanist, say go. Now they got to answer this stuff. We still have an Unsummon here to protect our stuff, or again, I don't have bounce Brazen Borrower with Unsummon, but I can bounce Thassa, realistically. Devout Decree the Arcanist. That doesn't feel good, but I'd rather bounce Thassa, I think, than save the Arcanist. Because Arcanist is just going to run into the Thassa anyway. I guess they would just, like, recast Thassa again. So if I save it, yeah, that actually makes more sense to save it. Because if I bounce Thassa, I just recast it again, and there's nothing to get through anymore, so. Pretty aggressive, alright. I guess I get Flicker 1, sure. Alright, I mean, Sprite Dragon doesn't really do a ton. Actually, it just blocks these, but I don't want to trade Stormwing for a Brazen Borrower. Actually, I kind of do, because they should have Thassa in play, so sure. It might even be better to draw a card than to play Sprite Dragon. Although we need to be aware they can just like tap and kill me. Yeah, actually we gotta just play this. Weird game. Weird game. Those two Mystical Disputes just destroyed our tempo. Casket? Okay, that's bad. And they really had a lot of ways to kill this 1/3. I thought we were pretty safe on that one. I mean, now the borrowers like have to block. So we should just draw a spell here. That's not a spell. We can just draw a spell here. That's also not a spell. Come on. Alright, we're dead. They just tap. Or tap, untap, tap. We're just dead. That's kind of frustrating. Alright, weird game. Mystical Dispute is very good against us. It's not worth bringing in Miscast. A lot of borrowers, too. Our unsummons didn't feel very good that game. I guess they're still fine. They can protect our stuff, too. It's also unsummon our own thing to, like, preemptively kill a Brazen Borrower if they try and bounce our thing with Petty Theft. Playing first. Hand's great. Opponent mulligans. Do we crash through on 1 to try and draw a third land? I think we do. Cool. Did it. So now we got everything. Just have actual everything. Riddleform or Sprite Dragon? It's got to be Riddleform. It's also Riddleform doesn't get Devout Decreed, and Dragon does, or Glass Casket too. So nice. All right, so now we can Scions an attack, or we can Sprite Dragon. Arcanist doesn't seem great. I think I like Scions here. Just like another sticky threat. Swinging for 5 this turn. Nothing they can casket. They can decree the Royal Scions, but like just waste their whole turn, which is kind of fine. Sure. They can also decree Dragon or Arcanist as well, so now we're free to attack again this turn. Crash through. Best card ever printed. We're gonna crash through over. I mean, we're gonna Sprite over Stormwing. The opposite. I'm just gonna stop talking and play my spells. You can see what I'm doing. Sailor's bad. Land is bad. Ship both. Play Temple. Scry. Land at the bottom. Get in. This feels pretty good here. Of course, Sprite Dragon will be attacking for at least 2 next turn, if not more. Shadow the Sky to kill my 1/3/3. Love it. Unsummon. Love it. Sprite Dragon. We're going to shock and leave out Unsummon. We could play Arcanist too. That's pretty bad against another Wrath though. Usually leave Unsummon up. Attack for 5. Riddleform all day. Elite Guard Mage. Sure. They're at 5 going to 8. 3, 6. We bounce the Guard Mage. Let's see what we draw, I guess. We're not going to do end steps. We need a trigger for Riddleform, so Stormwing. Alright. This is like not the coolest thing of all time, but sure. If they play this guard mage again next turn, it doesn't feel pretty bad. It doesn't feel bad for us, so. And now we're gonna play Arcanist. That allows us to shock, unsummon, or crash through. I guess that doesn't guarantee we can activate Riddleform next turn. Probably play this instead. Yeah, just scry. And if they Wrath, they die to the Riddleform or shock off the top too. It works. I'd say we got most things covered here. If they had like a Gust also, could be a thing, but upstairs, please. Yeah. Gotta turn on Riddleform. So now they're going to 3 with 3 lethal attackers. I mean, their deck is cool, but definitely clunky. All right, coming for you. Here we go. Not sure what gets them out of this. Sweet. All in all, pretty impressive, honestly. I mean, we did lose to the boogeyman of the format in Sultai, which is, you can't really have Sultai be a bad matchup, but I can't imagine that, Anthony didn't play against Sultai like 5 times in that tournament. It's so popular. Deck felt pretty sweet. Again, we went 4-1 with Anthony Arvalos. Izzet aggro deck that came in first place in the Red Bull International Qualifier 5. A lot of rounds, a lot of players. So definitely a good result for Anthony and a pretty sweet deck. Honestly, things played out well. Riddleform is phenomenal. Just so good. Sprite Dragon. I love the concentration of 1-mana spells. Our unsummons were quite good. Salmon Sprint was good, and it made our Arcanist good as well. Sailor was fine. It was fine. It was a beater. Against like aggro decks, you can just play it and block, I guess. You can block a 2-1 or whatever. And then against the slower decks, it did draw some cards. Pretty cool. Sideboard, I would say we're missing Mystical Dispute. Wouldn't mind at least a few of those. Whirlwind Denial is definitely cool, but we're kind of racing Krasis anyway, and it just feels like it's too clunky in most scenarios. I didn't love the Denials. Also, Miscast just seems... There's just too many Planeswalkers and enchantments and creatures, and it just doesn't seem like it's going to be good enough, realistically. So... Would love some disputes. Would like to chill on Denial a little bit. And yeah, deck seems awesome. Super fun deck. So good job, Anthony. And good job us for going 4-1. Super sweet. Deck is a lot of fun. I'm Jim Davis for CoolStuffInc.com. Make sure to check out the article on CoolStuffInc.com that goes with this video, as well as all the free content on CoolStuffInc.com every single weekday. Free content, no paywall. I do a video Monday. I do a written article Friday. And yeah, also promo code Jim5, 5% off your order on CoolStuffInc.com. Singles, product, board games, you name it, CoolStuffInc.com has it. Go check them out. I'm Jim Davis, and I'll see you next week for CoolStuffInc.com. Have a good one.